So today we are going to start with a very important and interesting concept, that is the concept of interference. First of all, I told you in my earlier discussion that interference is a result of superposition of two waves. It is a result of superposition of two waves. Superposition of two waves. Now, they superpose in such a way that the two waves, first of all, should move in the same direction. This is the first condition. And they should maintain a constant phase difference. The sources which emit these waves, such that the waves are maintaining a constant phase difference, are known as coherent sources. This is the most important, I think, condition required for two waves to superpose in such a way that they will generate a particular pattern. The resultant wave will generate a particular pattern, and that will be called interference. I'm coming to that. Another important thing, that they should have same angular frequency or frequency. So a very, very important thing that you have obtained regarding the condition to such that the two waves, when they undergo superposition, and they will form a definite pattern. And what is the pattern? The pattern will be actually what happens. If you are asked then what is interference then? So you will say the phenomena of, I'm writing it, what is interference? What is interference? What is interference? The phenomena of redistribution of light energy. Redistribution of light energy. The phenomena of redistribution of light energy due to the superposition of light waves. Very, very important. Superposition of light waves from two coherent sources. From two coherent sources. Coherent sources. So the phenomena of redistribution of light energy due to the superposition of light waves, or two light waves, you can also say like that, from two coherent sources, I have already mentioned. So this is called interference. So this is called interference. Now, when two light waves undergo superposition, they will be forming a resultant wave, and that particular wave will be maintaining a particular pattern. The resultant wave will be maintaining a particular pattern. A small view of that pattern, if I try to show you, children, you can see this pattern will be something like this. Of course, this is a very theoretical way I'm explaining. The pattern will be something like this. Say, for example, you have superposed and you have given with a, say, laser light, red color. So you will be obtaining a pattern something like this. So obtaining a pattern something like this. So you can see over here, it is consecutive dark and bright spots will be obtained. So you'll be obtaining a pattern something like this. I hope I'm clear to everybody. So this is the pattern. So one interesting thing that you can see over here, this can be called to be your dark fringe. We call it dark fringe. Dark fringe. Okay, children? This is called dark fringe. And this is called this bright color, where there is this type, where there is white color, or rather I will say bright color. These are known as bright fringe. So you will obtain an alternative bright and dark fringes. You will obtain a pattern consisting of alternative bright and dark fringe. So alternative bright and dark fringe. And if I try to draw a line like this, which is very, very interesting thing I'm explaining. So this is suppose the source, the two sources were somewhere over here. So one of the source, suppose this was one of your source, and this is another source, and these two sources has undergo a superposition. The light emitted by these two sources has undergo a superposition, and you are getting an interference pattern, something like this. And the central part, this is also known as the central maxima. This part is also known as the central maxima. I'll come to that part. But one thing I like to say to you, that the pattern that you have obtained over here, this is alternative bright and dark fringes. That means there is a redistribution of energy taking place, redistribution of light energy taking place. And this is called interference. I hope I'm clear to everybody. So this is called interference. Am I clear to everybody? Am I clear to everybody? So this is your, suppose S1 and this is your S2. So this is your S1 and this is your S2. These are the two sources, and these two sources are what type of sources? I've already told you, children. These two sources must be coherent sources. This is the most important part. So these two sources should be coherent. So this I have already discussed. Okay. So I think it's clear to everybody what do you mean by interference. So I have already discussed the phenomena of redistribution of light energy. So this is the phenomena of redistribution of light energy. In some part, the entire light is there. In some part, no light is there. So that is the redistribution of light energy. And these are the two sources, very, very important. And these are the two sources of light you can see, children. And these two sources of light, they are the two sources, and I told you categorically, they are the coherent sources. Am I clear to everybody? So these two are the coherent sources. Right. So this is source number 1, and this is the other is the source number 2. Now next, what I am going to discuss, a very important thing, that these two light waves may be emitting light, something like this, and they are maybe forming a interfering and superposing and forming a bright spot over here. So what I'm trying to discuss today, children, that we'll try to find out the mathematically the condition of these two waves or condition of these two sources or two light waves, such that you are getting this dark fringes and bright fringes. And in this case, you can also understand very much the dark fringe where there is darkness, they are known as destructive interference, or they are known as the region of destructive interference. And where there is bright, of course, it will be just the opposite. This will be known as the region of constructive interference. So what is interference? I have discussed. And in interference, you are getting a pattern of alternate bright and dark fringes. And in alternate dark fringes and bright fringes, the dark fringe is known as the destructive interference, and the dark fringe is known as the destructive interference, and the bright fringe is known as constructive interference. And another important thing I have discussed, the two sources must be coherent, that is, they should maintain a constant phase difference. So that is the basic concept. Now I'll deal with the mathematical concept. So what I'm going to discuss now, I'll first of all discuss the equation of the resultant waveform. So first of all, so I'm just giving a mathematical you can say treatment of interference. So to understand interference mathematically, okay, so mathematical, I will say treatment of interference. So I'm going to discuss this now. And this is also very, very important to understand that. Okay. So let me consider one wave whose equation is y1, and let me take the amplitude to be a1 sine of omega t, and the other wave y2, let that be equals to a2 sine of omega t plus phi, where phi is the phase difference. So that means the two waves are having a phase difference of how much? Phi is the phase difference. So the two waves are having a phase difference of phi. So y equals to, therefore I can say y1 plus y2. So y equals to, therefore, a2 sine of omega t plus phi plus a1 sine of omega t. Okay. So now what can I say, children, from here? If I want to do it mathematically, what can I write? Can I not write this to be a2 sine of a plus b formula? So that will be equals to sine of omega t cos phi plus a2 cos of omega t sine phi. Children, I have used the mathematical formula of compound angles in trigonometry. That is sine a plus b, that is sine a cos b plus cos a sine plus a1 sine of omega t. Now what shall I get? I can write y equals to, therefore, a2 cos phi plus a1 sine of omega t plus, in this case I can write this is equals to, I have got this part sine of omega t, all the omega t's are taken, and this is a2 sine phi cos of omega t. So this I have written in this form. Now what I will do, if I consider that, just let me write it over here. Yeah. So I'll consider, write down over here. So let a2 cos phi plus a1 equals to a cos theta. Okay. And a2 sine phi is equals to a sine theta. Okay. So this is a2 cos phi plus a1 is a cos theta. a2 sine phi equals to a sine. So if I just replace this over here, what shall I get? I'll get a cos theta sine omega t plus a sine theta cos omega t. Okay. So y equals to, so this we have got. So what will happen if I just take y common? So what shall I get? I'll get a bracket sine omega t cos phi cos theta plus cos omega t sine theta. Okay. So from here you get y is equals to a sine omega t plus theta. So y equals to a sine omega t plus theta. So from here what you get, this is your equation number 1 and this is your equation number 2. Children, if I just square and add them up, what shall I get? I'll be getting a square sine square theta plus a square cos square theta equals to a1 plus a2 cos phi whole square plus a2 sine phi whole square. So I'll get that. So if I do it, I'll get a square bracket sine square theta plus cos square theta will be equals to 1. And similarly, if I just write down, this will be a1 square plus a2 square cos square phi plus a2 square sine square phi plus twice a1 a2 cos phi. So What you get, children? You get a square is equals to, therefore, you are getting a1 square plus, and this together, this together will club to form a2 square cos square phi plus a2 square sin square phi. So it will be a2 square plus twice a1 a2 cos. So from here you get this a. So a is equals to, therefore you get root over of a1 square plus a2 square plus twice a1 a2 cos phi. So children, this a is what? This a is the amplitude of the resultant wave. Amplitude of the resultant wave. And very, very important, what is this y? This is the equation of the resultant wave. Resultant wave. Am I clear to everybody? So this is the equation of the resultant wave. Now, one important thing I like to tell you, children, why we have to study this chapter in a separate way. Because this amplitude, that is root over of a1 square plus a2 square plus twice a1 a2 cos phi, this is basically not a constant amplitude. This will be a variable amplitude whose value of this a will be varying with the value of this phi. And thereby it will set up a different pattern depending upon the various values of phi. So that is very, very important. Am I clear to everybody? So for various values of this phi, what will happen? This particular amplitude will be changing, which is very, very important. So let's move on to the next mathematical discussion. That is, amplitude A is equals to, therefore you are getting as root over of a1 square plus a2 square plus twice a1 a2 cos phi. Now what is this phi, children? I told you already. This phi is actually your phase difference. Now what is the relationship between phi, that is phase difference, and path difference? This we have discussed before also. How to find out? Let the path difference be x. So you know that when phase difference is 2 pi, your path difference is lambda wavelength, because for a complete vibration like this, with the distance moved is wavelength. When phase difference is phi, the path difference therefore will be equal to, that will be equals to lambda by 2 pi into phi, and that is equals to x. So phi is equals to, therefore we get an important relation, that is 2 pi x by lambda. So this is the relationship between phase difference and path difference. So we have got that. We have got the resultant amplitude mathematical formula. Now I told you that there are basically two types of interference. One is the constructive, other is the destructive. So in order to find out the condition for constructive and destructive interference, so let me find out that condition of constructive and destructive. Constructive interference means I have already shown you the pattern. What is constructive interference? You have already seen that. Constructive interference means where there were bright fringes, right? We have already seen that. Where there was bright fringe. So we have already done that. Bright fringe. So let me just do that for you. So for bright fringe, that means amplitude will be maximum, isn't it? Amplitude is maximum. And what is the resultant amplitude formula? We have already discussed. That is a1 square plus a2 square plus twice a1 a2 cos phi. The magnitude of the amplitude will be maximum over here. So we have already done that. That is a1 square plus a2 square plus twice a1 a2 cos phi with a root over. So amplitude is maximum when cos phi is equals to +1, right? When cos phi is equals to +1. Now, one thing I like to tell you before I just discuss from here, that is cos phi is equals to +1. So cos phi is equals to +1 means the resultant amplitude will be maximum. That we have what we have already seen. So in that case, cos phi is equals to +1 means, according to the concept of trigonometry, you have already seen that cos theta equal to cos alpha. Theta is equals to 2n pi plus minus alpha, where n starts from 0. And if I take only the plus, so it will be, or if I take only the plus, so n can start from 0, 1, 2, dot, dot. So in this case, cos phi, where alpha was the principal angle. In this case, what happens, children? We have seen that cos phi is equals to +1. Our principal value will be therefore cos 0. And what is, therefore, we can say that phi is equals to therefore 2n pi plus of 0. And what is phi, children? We have already seen phi is equals to 2 pi x by lambda. So I'll replace over here. So I'll be getting 2 pi x by lambda, that is equals to 2n pi. So pi and pi gets cancelled. So you get x equals to 2n into lambda by 2. Very, very important. That means 2n into lambda by 2, where n equal to 0, 1, 2, dot, dot, dot. So in order, what is the condition for constructive interference? We are actually doing that. Condition for constructive interference. In case of constructive interference, your path difference is very, very important. Path difference is 2n into lambda by 2. Children, 2 into n means it's an even number. So path difference is even multiple of lambda by 2. Very, very important. Path difference is even multiple of lambda by 2. This is the condition for constructive interference. I hope I'm clear to everybody. So this is the mathematical proof of condition of constructive interference. That is, the path difference is even multiple of lambda by 2. And very, very important, when n equal to 0, it is called central maxima. It is known as central maxima. When n equal to 0, it is known as central maxima. Let me refer to the diagram once again, children. So this is your central maxima. This is your central maxima. Am I clear to everybody? When n equals to 0, so this is your central maxima. I hope I'm clear to everybody. So this is your central maxima. That means you can see the interference pattern is maintaining a strict mathematical pattern where path difference is even multiple of lambda by 2. That is 2n into lambda by 2. So this is path difference. Am I clear to everybody? Path difference is even multiple of lambda by 2. That is the condition for constructive interference. Similarly, if you go to the condition of destructive interference, what it will be? Condition of destructive interference. Destructive interference means what? Destructive interference means, what is the meaning? Destructive interference means, I told you, that is bright dark fringe. So darkness, partial darkness it can be, or perfect darkness, depending upon that. Now another thing I like to tell you, if I ask you then what is the A maxima? A maxima is equals to, therefore cos phi is equals to 1. So this will be A1 plus A2. So the maximum amplitude will be equals to A1 plus A2. Why? Because this is A1 square plus A2 square plus twice A1 A2. That is A1 plus A2 whole square. So it will be A1 plus A2. So similarly over here, condition for destructive interference, if I want to find it out, cos phi should be equals to, minimum value of cos phi is -1, and that is equals to cos pi. And once again, using the concept of your trigonometric general equations, we can write phi is equals to 2n plus 1 or 2n pi plus pi. We have already seen that. So this is equals to 2n plus 1 into pi. Or you can also get 2n plus -1 depending upon which value of n you are taking. So that means one important thing, phi is equals to, we have got 2 pi x upon lambda. So that is equals to 2n plus 1 into pi. So pi gets cancelled. Therefore, x equals to, you are getting 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2. So children, 2n plus 1, this number is what? For n equals to 1, n equals to 0. So 2n plus 1 basically is an odd number. So what is the condition of destructive interference? That path difference is odd multiple of lambda by 2. Path difference is odd multiple of, am I clear? Path difference is odd multiple of lambda by 2. So what is the condition for constructive interference? Path difference is even multiple of lambda by 2. And what is the condition for destructive interference? Path difference is odd multiple of lambda by 2. And A minimum, because this is the minimum amplitude, will be equals to A1 minus A2 or A2 minus A1, depending upon which one is greater. So this is the concept of your condition for constructive interference and destructive interference. And this is the mathematical treatment of interference, which we have discussed in this discussion, which is very, very important. And you have seen that in the interference pattern, which we have already shown over here. This is an alternative bright fringe and dark fringes are forming. Bright fringe, I told you, means constructive interference. Dark fringe means, I told you, that is destructive interference. And what is the condition for constructive interference? The two sources, the path difference between the two waves will be even multiple of lambda by 2 for constructive, odd multiple of lambda by 2 for destructive. So this is the total concept of interference. In our next discussion, we'll start with Young's double slit experiment.